So Vladimir Putin is at it again, accusing us of forcing him to invade Ukraine? Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Reiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So in his latest speech, Vladimir Putin has once again accused the West of forcing his hand in the invasion in Ukraine. Apparently, it's because of the fact that we believe that gay people should be allowed to live their own lives that he had to invade Ukraine. You think I'm joking? I'm not. The one thing that we've seen with Putin's speeches, aside from their blatant appeals to the U.S. MAGA crowd and other right-winger authoritarians around the world, is this idea that somehow we are not allowing Russia to behave the way that it wants to. That it should have a right to invade other countries if it wants to. You think I'm joking? Let's check it out.
Власть над миром – это вот как раз то, что этот так называемый Запад поставил на кон в своей игре. Но игра эта, безусловно, опасная, кровавая и, я бы сказал, грязная. Она отрицает суверенитет стран и народов, их самобытность и уникальность, не ставит ни во что.
Okay, here he is talking about how the West are the ones who are denying the sovereignty of other countries when he's invading another country? Let's keep watching.
Интересы других государств. Исчезновение творческого потенциала самого Запада. Вы знаете, я всегда верил и верю в эту силу здравого смысла, потому убежден, рано или поздно и новым центром.
You see, this is what Putin really wants. He wants respect. He remembers the good old days of the Soviet Union when the entire world was afraid of its nuclear arsenal and the troops that it had stationed on the eastern borders of Europe. Not so much anymore, though. Russia, as we know, has an economy smaller than that of many U.S. states. And now we see that its military is nothing more than a joke. So we're supposed to be afraid of this guy? That's what he's saying. Poor me. We're not treated like some superpower because we're not a superpower. And so we should be allowed to be the kind of bully that we want to be. Let's keep watching.
Многополярного мироустройства, и Западу придется начать равноправный разговор об общем для нас будущем. Вместе с тем упрощение, стирание всех и всяких.
You see, this is what he's talking about, is that we're somehow erasing the differences between people. Again, ironic, given the fact that he's currently invading another country that's trying to have a different culture. But God forbid that what he says is applied to him at all. But he claims that because of the fact that we support things like gay rights, for example, that somehow we're forcing it on them. That because of the fact that we support democracy, that we're forcing it on them, and that they don't want it. Now, one thing I'll grant is Vladimir Putin certainly does not want democracy. But I wonder how the average Russian feels about that. They might actually like to have a little bit more say in their government, especially with their government doing things like invading Ukraine and then literally kidnapping its people off the streets to go fight in this illegal and unjust war. Let's keep watching.
Различия стали чуть ли не сущностью современного Запада. Что стоит за таким упрощением? Прежде всего, это исчезновение творческого потенциала самого Запада.
Now this is great. The loss of our creative potential. Last I saw, we're the ones who are creating all of the new ideas, and that the Russians have been suffering because of the fact that they can't import the goods that we make? Let's keep watching.
И стремление сдержать, блокировать свободное развитие других цивилизаций. Приведу цитату из знаменитой гарвардской речи Александра Исаевича Солженицына. Еще в 1978 году он отмечал, что для Запада характерно.
Okay, now I love this. He's talking about a speech back in 1978 where he talks about the persisting dazzling of superiority is typical of the West. The persisting dazzling of superiority. In other words, we do things better than they do, and we're dazzling as a result of it, and that's not going to last. He said that back in 1978. Well, as I recall, what happened since 1978 is the Soviet Union, which existed at the time, has fallen. And what's more, it's worthy of note, by the way, that Solzhenitsyn was a dissident who wanted Russia to adopt a more democratic system. Exactly the kind of thing that Putin bemoans the fact that we're trying to force onto them. Let's keep watching.
Дальше цитата. «Длящееся ослепление превосходства». Вот это все и происходит до сих пор. Которое, и дальше цитата, «поддерживает представление, что всем обширным областям на нашей планете следует развиваться и...»
It's saying that we're forcing all these other countries to develop in the way that we want them to. But the reality is, we're not forcing anybody to do it. They want to be our friends. They want to be like us. They want to develop the way that we do. This is the power of American culture, is it's the kind of thing that people want to be a part of. They want to be like us. We didn't force the Japanese or the Europeans or the Australians, or for that matter, the Vietnamese now, and other countries in Southeast Asia. We didn't force any of them to want to imitate our society. For that matter, we didn't force China to. They wanted to adopt aspects of it because of the fact that it's proven to be successful. Let's keep watching.
Развиться до нынешних западных систем. 1978 год.
And he's right, nothing has changed since then. So supposedly back in 1978, there was a statement that pretty soon the West was going to have to recognize the importance of these other countries, but yet it hasn't happened. So is it going to happen? Seems like he's got a logical problem with his argument there. Let's keep watching.
Ничего не поменялось.
Now that's actually a shortened version of the speech. I didn't want to impose the whole speech on you. Suffice it to say, though, that he goes on to make all kinds of crazy claims about, for example, how when other countries succeed in the system that we favor, that we close them out from it. But yet, last I saw, we are allowing China, Japan, Thailand, and even our former enemies in Vietnam to trade with us, resulting in us actually having a persistent trade deficit, something that, of course, Donald Trump made much about. So this logic that somehow we're forcing things on them just doesn't even make any sense on the face of it. But it just shows the height of the irony in his statements that he can talk about how we're trying to erase their culture while he's busily, militarily, trying to erase the culture of the Ukrainians. If anything I got from this speech, it was a sense of just how desperate he is. He realizes that he's in trouble in this war. His last chance is somehow making everybody miserable enough over the winter by denying them heat and energy that countries will agree to negotiate with him. Because when it comes to the military situation, there's nothing for Putin to hold on to. Well, if you want to see another video where I talk about just how bad things have gotten for Putin in Ukraine, check out this video over here. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.